Hey everybody, good morning. John Edelson coming to you live from my garage in Laguna Niguel, California. It is Thursday, February 21st. Man, February's flown by. This year's off to a fast start. Today we're going to talk about stamina and performance. This is episode 104. I've been up at like 4:20 in the morning, 4:15 in the morning, 104 days. I'm pretty proud of myself for committing and sticking to this. This has been great. Here's the concept of stamina performance. Good morning, Bob Goodnick. How are you, buddy? Stamina performance. I equate like our mind to sprinting and how hard we work and what we do. So even the most elite professionals, that's all they do is sprint. You know, like Usain Bolt, all they do is just a sprinter. That's it. They can still max out at about 20 seconds. They can really only sprint all out for about 20 seconds. You know, because if they run 100 meters, it's 10 seconds. They run 200 meters, it's about 20 seconds. So they don't really lose much there and there. Good morning, Monica. So they don't lose much in that first 20 seconds there because it's 10 seconds or 20. Then once you get to 400 meters, it gets to about 44 seconds. They have a 10% decrease, so they can't really sprint all out for 400 meters. And then it gets even a little worse. At 800 meters, it takes about 101 seconds, about a minute 41, minute 40 in that range. They lose another 20% on that. So they start to lose more performance. They can't sprint the whole time. I'm getting to a different point with this, but I'm still working my way that way. So this is a fluid thing too, and this might change. People can sprint for 400 meters all of a sudden, and they're running a 40-second 400 meter. Who knows? Like they thought Roger Bannister, they thought nobody could ever run a 4-minute mile. It's physically impossible for a human to do that. So nobody did it for hundreds of years. And then in 1954, Roger Bannister broke that mark, and then everybody opened their mind and said, shit, we can all do it too. And then a bunch of people did it right after that. So that's kind of how it works. So maybe at some point, people will be able to sprint for 40 seconds straight. But you're talking about the best athlete in the world, and they can only sprint for 20 seconds. That's their full job. That's all they can do, as fast as they can go for as long as they can. Pretty crazy. Have you ever tried to go down to marathon runners? They never go all out. In a whole race, they will never sprint for 26.2 miles. Never sprint. So it's a thing about pacing yourself. Same with your mentality. Have you ever gone for a run with a 3 or 4-year-old and say, hey, we're going to go run a half a mile. That's 2 laps around the track. Okay, Dad. 3 or 4 years old. Ready? Now go slow because we got a long way to go. Okay, Dad. Go. Boom, and they sprint every single time. It's hard. Pacing is not natural. So the kid sprints for 20 seconds, and it's like, whoo, how much farther do we have? Like, okay, let's run some more. Like, oh, and then they're just beat, and they need a break, and they need to recover. So that's kind of how we do things mentally, too. Now I'm going to go into what this is all about. It's about mental stamina. The experts, Justin Bloom, good morning, sir. Steve Peterson, how are you? The experts say that you can really max out your focus for between 20 and 45 minutes, depending on the person, okay? And that's not even a full mental acuity in working hard. Really, if you take one of those, there's a test where a red light comes on your computer, you push the button, and you're always alert and going. And every time you push the button, and then you push the space bar. And you can take these tests. There's mental acuity test, the reaction time test, and they keep going on, and they longer break and a shorter break. And even after that, you lose. How long do you think it takes to lose your mental acuity? 20 minutes, 45 minutes? How long will it take you to lose your acuity doing that? 3 minutes. Within 3 minutes, our mind is fatigued and we can't do it as fast anymore. We're slower. We're jumping the gun, you know. And so within 3 minutes, our mind starts losing that accuracy and acuity. So your brain needs to take breaks. So if you do it for like a 20-minute span of pushing the button, here's what happens. After 3 minutes, your brain gives itself a break. So you'll slow down to like 0.1 second below what you were doing before for about 20 seconds, and then pick back up again. But you won't pick up at that same level you're at for the first 3 minutes. You'll just go up a little bit. So as the time goes on, you kind of ride this wave curve of taking a little mental break for 20 seconds, taking a break for 20 seconds. But the whole time, the curve is kind of working its way down. You get stronger, and then until, you know, you're just like, oh, I can't push the button anymore. And it's not physical. You're not getting tired with your finger pushing the button fast. It's all how fast your mind reacts. So subconsciously, they start giving themselves breaks and riding this wave curve. Okay, what I'm really giving to is you need to give yourself breaks. How long can you work all out? And I'm not talking about total stress waiting for the light to switch and hitting the button. I'm talking about making phone calls, working on the computer, doing things, and just staying focused on one task before you have to get up and do something. Can you do like 40 minutes on and 20 minutes off, or 40 minutes on and 2 minutes off, or 2 hours on and take a 5-minute break, or whatever works best for you? That's the point. It's what works best for you. I realize that I work for about 45 minutes, and then I'll have to get up and go do something, whether get a glass of water or coffee, or or walk around, or go do that. And it was subconscious that I do it all the time. I give myself these little breaks in the middle, and I'm kind of like a 55-5 person. I work 55 minutes and 5 minutes. How long can you work? 100 minutes with 5 minutes off? I mean, what's your limit? What's your stamina? You need to focus on being most efficient, and when you have the most stamina. And then people say you need to take 2 days a week off or 1 day a week off. Why? That's an arbitrary number. Maybe you're better off working 9 out of 10 days and working 10 hours a day and taking a full week off and coming back refreshed and more efficient. I mean, what works for you? Have you ever gone into vacation mode where you bust your ass for the last 24 to 48 hours before you go on vacation, and then you just totally decompress, but you get so much stuff done in that 24 hours? So that's kind of what works best for you. I may do that, where I'm just like, okay, I realize I'm going to work my ass off for 4 days and then take a couple days off and work for 12 hours a day. I'm not sure what my best pattern is. Look at it this way. In the 1830s, the average person worked 69 hours a week. And the reason it was so much, because they were building their infrastructure. They didn't have roads or buildings or anything. So they had they're building a whole society. So in order to have a decent quality of life, they had to work 69 hours a week. And now in the 1870s, that dropped about 10% to 62 hours a week. So 40 years later, they're already down 10%. 1910, 53 hours that drops down to. 1940s, 1950s, it's down to average work week is now 45 hours a week in the 1940s. In the 80s, we got a little more lazy. Now our average work week is about 39 hours is the average person's work week right now in the 80s. And now in the 2010s, it's just 34 hours a week is the average work week. Man, are we either getting a lot more efficient or a lot more lazy? So rethink your stamina strategy. What works best for you? Working in short bursts, taking big breaks, working long ones, taking a little longer breaks, and in your performance, you can manage your performance and how well you perform. For example, a sprinter, if he's up all night smoking pot and playing video games, he's not going to set a record the next morning. If he's chowing McDonald's all day long, he's not going to set the record. He's not going to be at peak performance. So you control that with your diet and stress and sleep and just everything, and how much water you drink. So try to increase your stamina by being healthy, doing exercise, doing things. So figure out what works for you. I might try vacation mode for a while. Hey, I'll work my ass off for 20 hours, then take 2 days off and relax. So who knows? So figure out what works for you. Try to have your most efficient stamina and mental performance. And I said diet, exercise, and taking care of yourself. And remember, if anybody you know might benefit from this video, tag them, share it, or just like it in the comments below. That's it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have an awesome Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 5:30. And remember, you are loved because I love you. Have an awesome Thursday, guys.